my passionate and loyal Scorpio friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. Scorpio, it's as if something in the air this week quietly stirs up the old familiar restlessness, a tension that's difficult to name but unmistakable in your bones. You might sense a longing to be seen exactly as you are, without any need to prove or defend. There's a pulse beneath the surface, a heat that builds in your chest and tightens your jaw, even as you outwardly move through the motions. Perhaps you're balancing the urge to step forward with the worry that your intensity might spill over. Maybe there's an old story whispering that you must hold yourself back, keep your cards close, or risk being misunderstood. The longing for recognition and belonging feels especially acute, pressing against the edges of your patience. You notice yourself scanning the room, gauging who truly sees you and who only sees reflections. Underneath, there's a desire to create, to express, to feel alive in your own skin. But in the quiet moments, doubt flickers. Will you come across too strong or not strong enough? Are you allowed to want more, to ask for what you need? These questions are not loud, but they are persistent, coloring every interaction. It's a week where the usual armor feels heavier than usual, and the desire for authenticity tugs hard at your sleeves. Within this current sits the energy of the Queen of Wands. Her presence is not about performance, but about the lived, felt experience of being unafraid to take up space. You might notice flashes of confidence breaking through, moments when you laugh without restraint or share a thought without filtering. There's a magnetism in you now. Others feel drawn to your warmth, even when you don't mean to command attention. This is not a forced charisma, it's the natural radiance that comes when you stand in your own truth. Still, you feel the friction between showing up boldly and the inner dialogue that wonders if it's too much. It's a delicate dance, the desire to inspire, to spark something real in those around you, and the instinct to protect your heart from disappointment. You may find yourself stepping into spaces where your voice matters, or realizing how much you crave a sense of agency. The week brings a burning curiosity. What would it feel like to lead with passion, not just logic, to let your opinions, your humor, your desire be seen? This isn't about chasing praise or courting drama, it's about honoring the quiet fire that won't be ignored. You sense the cost of hiding and how much energy it takes to shrink. At the same time, you feel the vulnerability of visibility, the risk that someone might misunderstand your intentions or that your openness could be met with silence. There's a push and pull in your interactions, reaching out then pulling back. When you catch yourself hesitating, you notice the old patterns at play and a longing to break free from them. The Queen of Wands asks nothing from you but presence, and you feel the invitation to settle into yourself, even when it feels unfamiliar. You recognize that your authenticity can be a gift, not just for you, but for those who long for someone to go first to be real. And so, the way you inhabit yourself begins to shape the path ahead. This inner state, this mix of courage and caution, colors every choice, every conversation. The way you hold yourself changes how others respond, and you find that situations which once felt fixed now seem to shift, as if sensing your readiness to engage differently. The more you lean into your own fire, the more the world seems to reflect it back to you, sometimes in surprising ways. You start to see the places where your willingness to be seen opens doors and where your hesitation quietly closes them. The path ahead is formed by this interplay between your inner confidence and the external pressures that arise in response. This leads directly into the presence of strength. The days ahead are marked by situations that call for a quiet, steadying force, one that is less about domination and more about self-holding. The environment around you might carry a sense of urgency or intensity, as if people and events are pushing for resolution, clarity, or control. You may feel the friction of expectation, whether from within yourself or from those who hope you'll lead, intervene, or set the tone. There's a subtle momentum at play, a sense that you're being tested not by grand gestures, but by the small daily choices to remain anchored when emotions run high. Sometimes the pressure is overt, a conversation that turns unexpectedly vulnerable, or a challenge that tugs at old insecurities. Other times it's the slow build of responsibility, the way others look to you for reassurance or guidance. In these moments you notice the temptation to revert to old defenses, retreating, deflecting, or bracing for disappointment. Yet alongside this you feel the pulse of resilience. Strength in this context is not about taming your instinctual reactions, but about meeting them with kindness. You recognize the power in softening, even as the world asks you to be firm. There's a friction between the pace of life and your need for self-care, between the demands of others and the boundaries you wish to uphold. The week is not without its tests, but you find yourself meeting them with a steadier breath, a willingness to pause before responding, a deeper trust in your own ability to weather the storm. You may notice that when you approach challenges with gentleness, the tension eases and new possibilities emerge. It's not a week for grand victories or dramatic confrontations, but for quiet acts of courage, choosing to stay present even when it's uncomfortable, offering a kind word even when you feel unseen. The active pressures of the week reveal the places where your inner strength is growing, not as a shield, but as a source of genuine connection. The more you practice this kind of self-support, the clearer your path becomes, and the less burdened you feel by the expectations of others. The sense of potential that lingers in the air is not automatic or inevitable. It depends on how you meet these moments. The possibility of growth only becomes real when you show up honestly, neither overextending nor retreating. The gift at the end of this path is waiting, but it cannot be claimed by rote. It asks you to stay awake to your own experience, to notice the subtle shifts that happen when you respond with both courage and care. Your willingness to engage consciously with pressure and vulnerability is what unlocks the next chapter. Here, the Six of Pentacles quietly emerges as your potential. Growth in this context feels less like striving and more like a natural balancing of energies. There's an invitation to recognize the flow of giving and receiving in your life, not as a transaction, but as a lived rhythm. You might notice moments when support is offered, whether as a listening ear, a shared resource, or a gentle affirmation. At the same time, you may have opportunities to extend your own generosity, not from obligation, but from a genuine place of abundance. This week, the possibility opens for you to experience connection as an exchange, where your strength and authenticity create space for others to show up too. The sense of fairness, of mutual respect, becomes more tangible. You feel the satisfaction that comes from reciprocity, from knowing that vulnerability can be met with understanding rather than judgment. Growth here is not about acquiring more, but about sensing your place in the web of relationships around you. When you allow yourself to receive, not just praise, but care, support, and even gentle feedback, you discover that you are not alone. And when you give, it is not depleting but replenishing. The Six of Pentacles suggests that balance is possible, but only as a result of conscious engagement. The week carries the quiet promise that, if you are willing to show up as you are, you will find your world responding in kind, not perfectly, but in ways that matter. This is not about keeping score or fixing every imbalance, but about letting the natural give and take of life nourish you. There is a sense of ease that settles in when you trust this rhythm, and a softening of the old fears that you must do it all alone. Taken together, These energies form a quietly powerful arc. The Queen of Wands helps you recognize and honor the heat and creative energy within, urging you to step into the world as your whole self. The pressures of the week, reflected in strength, invite you to meet challenge with both courage and gentleness, to hold steady when the world asks for more than you wish to give, and to trust that your presence is enough. And as you engage with these moments, the Six of Pentacles shows you that true growth is less about individual achievement and more about the quality of your connections. The tension at the week's start gives way to a sense of belonging, not because everything resolves perfectly, but because you allow yourself to participate fully. There is comfort in knowing that you can be both strong and open, generous and discerning, visible and held. The arc of this week is not one of dramatic transformation, but of small shifts that together create a new sense of balance. You may find yourself breathing a little easier by the end of it all, settling into the truth that your presence is enough, and that you are already a vital part of the world around you. Actionable insights for Scorpio this week. Let yourself notice when you feel most at ease around others, and gently lean into those moments. Try sharing a small truth with someone you trust just to see how it feels. Allow yourself to accept help, even in small ways, and see what it changes inside. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I stand in my own warmth. I choose to meet challenge with softness. I accept support where it finds me. I am enough exactly as I am. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.